Hi everybody, Derek Christensen here. I'm an estate planning attorney talking to you about why you need an estate planning attorney in your life. But before I dive into that, I wanted to let you know how to reach out to me. You can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can find me at my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. And with that, let's dive into the reason why I'm an important person. And I'm kind of being sarcastic a little bit, but in reality, there are a lot of people who come up to me and say, well, a will is 1/3 of what you're charging, so why would I pay 3 times the price for your services when I can just get it off the internet? And the answer is, well, because I have all the knowledge as to why that will is or is not going to work. And if you get it wrong, there are extremely dire consequences that will happen. So I tell people this all the time, but think of it as your car engine just went out. Now you have 2 options. You can go onto YouTube, you could watch your videos, and then you can download the schematics to the engine off the internet and then try to fix it yourself. That is totally an option. The other option is you pay way more money and you go to a mechanic who then takes care of it immediately and you're good to go and your car runs. Now with the first option of doing it yourself, you're not going to the professional, you're just doing it yourself, and you think that you can save money and time by doing that. But in reality, there are some circumstances that will pop up. Namely, I'm terrible with cars. If I did that, I guarantee you I would make the problem worse by doing that. And so while I save some money now, I'm actually going to be way more in the red later on because I'll have to hire somebody to fix my mistakes and the original mistake. So that's the first point to make, is that you can actually make some pretty severe mistakes that are going to cost you more than the money you save. And actually, I have plenty of horror stories on that front, so email me. But the second point to make would be, okay, let's assume you do it correctly. The only way you're going to do it correctly is if you go learn it all yourself and spend a lot of time figuring it out. And if you really think about it, if you think time is money, you hear that phrase, the amount of time you would have to put in to figure out how to do it correctly, an estate plan correctly, may exceed the amount of time or how much money you could have just paid me to do it and I would have taken care of it like that. So it actually will cost you more time if you do it right, or it will cost you more money if you do it wrong. And I don't know, in my opinion, hiring me would save you the time and the money in the long run. So that's why I think it's a no-brainer. But the last point to make is actually kind of the most important point to make. You don't know what you don't know. For instance, many people assume that I can download a trust off the internet, I can sign it, I can get it notarized, and I have a trust. And therefore, because I have a trust, I will avoid probate, and I will have saved money on not hiring an attorney for the trust, and I will have saved money for avoiding probate. But in that specific circumstance, you actually have to realize that the trust is not effective unless the assets are transferred into the trust. And you don't know how to transfer that stuff in, because in Texas, actually, you can't even transfer your house into your trust without working through an attorney like myself. You cannot draft deeds unless you are a specific type of business, and an individual who's just trying to save some money cannot draft deeds. So at the end of the day, you're still going to have to run into, again, doing it correctly, run into other attorneys who will just have to help you out. This is the last point I'm going to make, and this is the most important one. And I know I just said that previous one was the most important. This is actually the most important one. The estate plan is not your car engine. It is everything. The estate is you. It is every single aspect of your life. It is your car, it is your house, it is your retirement accounts, it's your bank accounts, every single thing that you've ever worked for 30 plus years you've been working and you acquired all these assets. Every aspect of your life is affected by your estate plan. So if I screw up my car, it's just a car. I can go get a new one. But I still have my house, I still have my retirement accounts, all that stuff. If you mess up your estate plan, everything gets affected dramatically. And that can be very, very bad. It could cost millions. And all that work that you've been doing is very undone. It can get severely damaged. So that's why I strongly recommend you work with an attorney. You measure twice, you cut once, and you work with someone like myself, because that's why you need someone like me. That's why it costs 3 times more than a will on the internet, because 1/3 of my work is the drafting of the will, but the other 2/3 are me talking to you and saying, all right, do you own multiple properties? Because if you do, and you don't have a trust, this is going to cost you way more in probate than you would ever spend on saving money on the internet. If you're a blended family in Texas and you don't have a will, your children can control your step parents, or your children will be able to control your wife's living situation. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. And you don't know these laws, and these websites are not telling you about that. So at the end of the day, That's why you need an attorney, because again, it's cheaper and faster than doing it yourself if you're going to do it correctly. There will be times where you just can't do it yourself. It's literally not possible to do it yourself because the laws prevent people from making an effective estate plan without working with an attorney. And last but not least, the estate plan affects everything, every single aspect of your life, and you really don't want to skip and save and go the cheap option when it comes to everything that you own. So with that, I know that sounds a little doom and gloom, but at the end of the day, I make money when I help people out with that, and I make money fixing the mistakes of others. And trust me, the people in the first category spend way less, they have way less headaches, and their kids are way better off than the people in the second category. Fixing mistakes is so much worse than just doing it correctly the first time. Measure twice, cut once. And that's why you need an estate planning attorney, because I do all the measuring and the cutting for you. I just say, right here, just cut right there. That's all you need to do. So that being said, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com. I want to be your resource. I want to be able to help you out, so feel free to ask. And if you have any questions and you want to have a phone call or consultation, you can go to my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. Go to the Contact Us page and you can schedule a consultation directly onto my calendar. So with that, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.